Hey, Wimberg World Entertainment, and the review for episode 6 of The Penguin is here. It won't be much spoilery because there's not really much to spoil, except kind of where the ending might be going. But I won't really get into that. But it is yet again another great episode, and just keeps building the story perfectly. It keeps moving so fast as well, not in terms of just speeding through it, but it's not trotting along, it's getting from one point to the next point at a reasonable pace, you know what I mean? Like, we already now have the drug Bliss in production and the underground fully up and running. Well, basically fully up and running. So you're seeing how long kind of time is passing, because it's now starting to snow in the city and stuff. Oz is fighting to keep power in the apartment because he's using the generator, but it keeps breaking down, and of course he doesn't want his mother to freeze. Sophia and Maroney are still kind of trying to figure out how to get to Oz. Now, what we find out is that he's sending people up and selling the drug Bliss, but they've noticed that Sophia's people and Maroney's people are trying to follow them to see where they go. They keep losing them. They don't know where they're going, but they know that they're somewhere. And we see like Maroney kind of the anger coming across from the loss of his family. We see Sophia basically trying to make him use that rage almost. And they go to his apartment, and like his actual apartment, not the one in the slums, but they're just there looking at everything, and the only thing, because they're looking for something to use against them. And Maroney sees a photo and he's like, hey, hang on, who's this? What have we got here? And she's like, oh, that's his 3 brothers, but they all died very young, and so did his mother. We never heard about his father. And that's where you really see Maroney just like that rage, because he even says the line of, he's taken everything from me and he has nothing, in terms of there's nothing you can take from him. And of course, Sophia finds a drawer in his bedroom with women's clothes, and of course it's the prostitute, whose name I still can't remember, and a photo. So she realizes, got something here. And while all that's happening, you have her and Maroney starting to say, right, he's trying to gather areas together, so we have to send a message that if anyone deals with Oz, there'll be consequences. And what they do is they went and got 3 guys, strung them up, murdered them, and cut their pinky fingers off as a warning, which is seen on the news. And Oz, they think that's going to stop Oz. So instead of sending the guys out to sell the drug, he's like, right, just go everywhere and anywhere, and anyone that wants it, give it to them free of charge. Give them a free sample, free of charge. We really need to push this. And his plan is to try and get all the gangs that even hate each other and won't deal with each other to come together, because of course if he manages to do that, he'll have all these other people on his side, and it'll make him stronger than Sophia and Maroney. And we see him interact with a corrupt politician. He basically threatens him and gets him to turn the power back on down in the slum area. I can't remember what that area is called, but he wants the power turned back on there because the generator's not working. He can't keep his mother warm. Squid does come across Vic in this episode as well, and he notices that Vic seems to have sort of flash clothes, more so the trainers he has on. So he wants to know where he's obviously getting the money, and he wants in. And he tries to bring this up to Oz to say, like, we could have a problem. But Oz isn't really seemingly listening, because he's kind of more worried about his mother. And he's agreed to kill his mother. Whether he actually is going to do it, don't know. But he promised her because she wanted him to promise. Which doesn't happen in this episode, by the way. But he's kind of focused on that. But then he's looking at Vic and he's like, is this a problem, or can you deal with it? He's like, oh yeah, don't worry, it'll be dealt with. And it is dealt with. the way it's dealt with and what comes of it is interesting, and more character building for Vic, and even the relationship between Vic and Oz. Sophia does go to the hooker's house. Well, she's down in the area talking to all those trans hookers, and they're like, never seen her. And she pulls out a big wad of money and is like, are you sure? And they're like, yeah, we never seen her. And the girl that liked Vic, I think her name is Roxy, says, you know, we met, basically, you know, at the nightclub with the night of the deal, yada, yada, yada. And I can tell you where she is for a price. So Sophia goes up to the apartment. Thing opens the door and it basically isn't surprised to see her standing there with a gun. She's like, you don't seem surprised to see me. And she's like, yeah, I told Roxy to send you up to me. Of course, I told her for the right price to do it. And basically, she tries to manipulate Sophia, but Sophia can see right through it. And basically tells her, like, you know, you're very good at telling people what they want to hear and all this type of stuff. And she basically, your one tries to push back against Sophia by telling her the names of the women she killed. Well, that she, you know, air quotes, killed. And Sophia says, oh, so you still think I'm the hangman? And she knows that she's not going to give Oz up until she tells her, like, oh yeah, I didn't kill your friends. My father did. And Oz helped cover it up and frame me to move up in positions and get more power and stuff. And the prostitute's going to take him back a bit, and she's like, yeah, he probably never told you that, did he? He goes, oh yeah, he covered it up. So she tells him the area that she believes he's in, which is the slums, which I can't remember why I can't remember what it's called, but she tells him anyway, and she doesn't shoot her, she lets her live. And while all this is happening as well, Oz is still working in the underground, but he's setting up a meeting between basically all the gangs, the triads, the Irish, the Mexicans, all of them, you know. And he brings them all a beer, and they're all like, what the hell is this? And it's basically, if they open the beer, they're on his side. And he gives them a big speech, and the triad is the one who still doesn't want to go with it. He's like, this guy has no code, like, he betrays everyone he works with, yada yada yada. Why could we believe him? Oz fights back with that, and he's like, yeah, look, everything you heard about me is true. I did kill this person, I did take these people out and stuff, and he's basically, it's all because I'm just a poor guy from the west side who's trying to take what they have, kind of thing. And, you know, and he's like, one of the ways he convinces the Irish guys, who, it was their fellas, by the way, that was hung up, the Irish mob, that you find out were hung up. I thought it was the triads, it wasn't though, it was these guys. And he's like, you know, your ancestors built this city, and yet the corrupt governors' names are on all this crap, all the rich people's names are on all this crap, and the worst part is they don't even know your name. And that's where he really kind of pushes. And when they all open the beers, and the triad's the last to do it, just as Oz is about to take his sip, you can see the little smirk on his face, because he realizes, I got them, you know, got the power now. And the end of the episode basically is the power actually coming back on, but something interesting is happening around the apartment, which again I won't spoil, but it's like, oh, this is going to be very, very interesting next week. So it's a quicker episode to review, because it kind of just took those kind of few arcs, you know. I forgot to say, his mother fell in the bath, or seemingly fell in a bath or something. You know, he comes home and she's called for him, he comes in, she's in the bath. This is where she makes him promise to top her, and like, she's in the bath, and she's like, Jesus man, how long have you been in there? The water's freezing. And you find out she must have been in there for a couple of hours that she fell. So you find out she has Parkinson's, she has dementia, and some other disease. What did he call it? Something like Lou or something like that. It started with an L. I think it was something like Lou or Louis disease or something like that. You know, you can see how it's affecting him. And there's some great shots in this as well, actually, this episode. The opening scene is great. You know, you're seeing all the rich houses type of thing. You're seeing the city, but you see this fantastic shot of Blackgate Prison. And it's all happening over Oz doing a monologue, or at least you think it's a monologue. He's actually talking to his crew to send them out to give this drug out. But the great shots, and there's a shot then later, just after he promises to top his mother, that he gets her dressed and does her all up, but he's putting her makeup on. And you see this great contrast of she's getting all dolled up to the nines by him, but he's putting, like blusher on around her cheeks stuff, but he's doing it with his finger, and you can just see how filthy his hands are. Like his nails are just like covered in dirt and everything. And there was just a great kind of contrast to he's out there struggling, and you can see the dirt and all that, and there she is getting done up to the nines. Some great shots like that, and some interesting little conversations between Sophia and Maroney. Just kind of him, you can see where he's kind of more of this battering ram of a personality compared to Sophia, who's is gone crazy. She is batshit crazy, but how she's quite calculated as well. So another great episode. This show, I have a feeling now it's going to stick the landing, because it's just been getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So we'll wait and see what happens next week. So with that, I shall leave it there for this one. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.